And welcome to our first episode of the year of Meade in the Middle. And I welcome back my youngest brother.
Younger.
You're the youngest.
There's two younger than me.
You told me to call you the youngest.
Yeah.
Anthony Meade. Welcome. How was your
little brother
Christmas and New Year's?
They went really well. Is that proper grammar?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yes. They did good. I did good.
Now you fucked it up.
I liked it. I had fun. No, I had a great time.
Good.
I'm going sober all January, so that'll tell you how it went.
All right.
Yeah.
And we got Shane back.
What's up?
buddy?
Did you have a good year?
I did. Did you get the guinea pigs?
I did. I got the guinea pigs. Santa came through.
Woo!
They smell. They're kind of cute, but they're the girls named them Coco and Ginger.
What color are they?
So they're going to be strippers.
What is like? Yeah, they're stripping guinea pigs. We got a little pole.
Is one red and one brown?
One is like reddish, and the other one is like multicolored, and they called that one Coco. But yeah, and New Year's was uneventful. I made it to 9:30. Went to sleep.
Good.
I took the kids to an event that they had at the mall for like New Year's in Dubai. So they had like a party at like noon, so the kids didn't have to stay up late.
Oh,
that's kind of cute.
Better. Yeah, it was cool.
That's good, man.
So you've given up. You've given up.
Yeah, given up on life.
Basically.
So there's a lot going on in the world.
Let's get into it, Mike.
So let's start with this video of Jack Ryan.
I've been seeing clips of this. I haven't seen the whole thing, so I'm excited.
Agree with her? And okay, great. Who else?
China.
Stop yelling at me, but China is a good answer. Anybody? Who else? China?
North Korea?
North Korea. Any North Korea takers? And Venezuela? Anybody? No? Oh, yeah. One guy in the back. A little worried about Venezuela. Everybody's cool with Venezuela? No threat? Okay. Let me ask you this. Which one of these places can claim to have the largest oil deposit on the planet? More than Saudi? More than Iran? Wow. Okay, what about things like gold? More than all the mines in Africa combined? The fact is that Venezuela is arguably the single greatest resource of oil and minerals on the planet.
So I'll give you guys a brief history on Venezuela.
Make it brief.
I'm going to make it really brief.
Go for it.
So they became an independent country in 1830 from Spain. And during the 19th century, they had frequent political instability and military strongmen. Oil was discovered in 1914, and that reshaped the economy with foreign companies and later the state dominating production. By the 1950s through the 70s, Venezuela was among one of the world's richest countries per capita, with strong democratic institutions and oil revenues supporting urban growth and infrastructure. I think they were the
fourth largest economy in the world is what I remember.
The fourth largest economy in the world. Oil became the backbone of the economy, but heavily dependence made Venezuela vulnerable to price shock. For example, when prices fell on oil in the 1980s and then again in the 90s, economic stress sparked protests and disillusionment with traditional parties. And that's when, in 1998, Hugo Chávez was elected president. And he campaigned as an outsider, promising redistribution of wealth and breaking the old political order and all like the candy.
The rigidness of individualism is what we're saying.
Then Chavez introduced a new constitution, renaming the state the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela. And he centralized all his power. As all these...
You take away there's some 30,000 companies or something crazy.
During this period, he stole the wealth from a lot of hardworking families that built wealth over the generations and actually created the economy that was there. So he took people's homes. You knew of one family.
Yeah, I knew. My friend I remember around 2010 when I was living in LA, he was a good friend of mine, and he was a student. He was at his family, he was telling me how his family was in Venezuela still, and they were a wealthier family, and everything was taken from them. Their homes, their land, all their money, and they were putting on a stipend each month. They were out and had no money. He was in the gym one day and got his backpack stolen that had his passport in it. He went to the Venezuelan consulate to get a new one. They said, you have to go back to Venezuela to get it. He went back there, and he was never allowed to leave again. And I remember he hit me up. Before I lost contact with him, he hit me up on, I don't know what it was, like Facebook or something, to let me know that he's stuck there. They're not letting him out. And that was that. Never heard from him again.
Yeah, and during that same period, so America, and I'll talk about this later, we push forth our influence in different regions through aid, really, and allowing our companies, so it's private capital, that's like mine and your money that we invest with these larger corporations to invest in these various countries, versus like China that puts money in directly because it's a communist country. So at the same time, he stole all the infrastructure that really American oil companies built all that. It was our money. If you invested in any of these stocks, your money went and it was gone. And he did that to satisfy his promise of equal distribution, right? Equal outcome, which
How'd that go?
Didn't go really well. Then in 2013, let's see. So initially, the higher oil prices, the government expanded social programs, but the oil revenue spending and mismanagement increased structural vulnerabilities, and the economy just weakened. Chavez died in 2013, and that's when Maduro succeeded him.
He was handpicked. He was a bus driver before that.
He was named. Yeah, and under his rule, it just got worse and worse. Elections were extremely unfair. Judicial and electoral autonomy eroded. Opposition leaders were banned and exiled. He consolidated power with loyal security forces and paramilitary groups surrounding him.
You hear about his kids under Biden? Do you have that there? What happened?
Is it about this part of my story?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
The economy collapsed. Once a wealthy oil producer in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, standard of living fell sharply with declines among the worst in modern history outside of wartime, hyperinflation, food shortages, mass migration. Oil production plunged from multi-million barrels per day in the late 20th century to a fraction of that level by 2020, due again to mismanagement and breaking of all relationships with companies that actually did that work. The crisis triggered one of the largest mass displacements in Western Hemisphere, with millions fleeing the country. What story did you have?
What was I saying?
About the Biden kids?
Oh, yeah. So his kids were busted, I want to say, in Cuba or something. They were busted by the CIA or the DA. I don't have all
Maduro's
those facts.
kids?
Yeah, his kids, for running a huge drug ring. Drug ring. And they were arrested and sent to American prisons. Biden pardoned them on his last time. And now that's the son that you see now crying on TV. But he had his kids were busted with huge amounts of drugs, like tons.
Well, just to follow up on that, because I was going to mention that.
Oh.
It's basically your government doesn't care about drug trafficking. So Trump got on this whole thing with like, hey, it's drug trafficking. He's blowing up these little boats. But in reality, there's a bigger thing happening in the background with his agenda. And how do I know that? Well, Trump pardoned 2 massive drug dealers.
For sure.
Juan Orlando Hernandez. He was the former Honduran president. He's convicted of drug trafficking. So in late 2025, Trump pardoned him. He was convicted in 2024, so he didn't spend a lot of time in prison, for conspiracy to import more than 400 tons of cocaine in the United States and related weapons offenses. He was serving a 45-year sentence. So if I cared about drug trafficking and I wanted to stop it, and that was really my reason to do this, I'm not pardoning people. He also pardoned.
But do you think, just kind of for him before we move on, do you think that there may be a reason to pardon someone who may have a tremendous amount of information on the people who are actually that are his buddies in South America that he can go after?
No.
The Colombians, the Venezuelans?
No. Hold a leader of a country who got convicted in our court and got sentenced.
Yeah.
You don't fucking pardon. That's bullshit. So don't tell me one thing and then fucking do another.
Well, it's easier to go. It's easier to go in and remove a dictator from a country like a sovereign nation a sovereign nation under the auspices of it being on the drug war. It sounds a lot better than saying, "Oh, I'm going here because we want to seize oil and be part of all the wealth that's there." So I get
was the
why
Honduran president actually elected president? Was he president at the time?
No, he was a former president. But here's another one.
Oh,
so remember the Silk Road founder?
He's the bigger guy. He wasn't serving. He was serving a life sentence.
So he was serving life plus 40 years. Yeah. So he created Silk Road. It was a dark web. Ross Ulbricht, I believe his name was.
Ulbricht.
And he was convicted in 2015 for facilitating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of illegal drug sales through his anonymous network. Again, he had a life sentence plus 40 years. Now,
well, that was different. That was very different.
How was that different?
That's different. It's like saying the founder and president of Telegram is guilty of child trafficking and drugs because people on his site are doing it. He never did it. He created a website where people can go in there and talk on the dark web.
Did he not know that people were doing that?
But it's the same thing as saying...
He definitely
It's
knew.
the same thing as saying Zuckerberg is guilty for people saying stuff on Facebook, or Elon's guilty for people saying things on X.
Again,
it's kind of the same thing.
You were not a jury. You were not the judge. You were not involved.
No, I know,
He was convicted.
but I believe he was a big one that a lot of people were in his corner saying he was definitely scapegoated on stuff. And, when he wasn't really the one. He just... That's what
if you're blowing up fucking boats and kidnapping fucking presidents of other countries for drugs, you're not doing shit like this.
Yeah.
You're going to take a hard line.
But Ross was
Trump.
it was a different one, I think.
And so the truth is, and now he's starting to say it, which is good. It's about the Trump Doctrine, and the Trump Doctrine isn't a single document. It's multiple policies that are really reviving
the
Monroe Doctrine, which really states that he's going to prioritize U.S. sovereignty. He's going to pressure socialist regimes using economic leverage instead of diplomacy, and treating migration as a national security issue. It replaces soft power with hard lines and tractions deals fundamentally reshaping how the U.S. engage its own hemisphere, and is focused on the Western world. So the Americas.
Yeah.
And he's kind of saying, Europe, you're done, right? You guys have turned completely radical left. You've opened your borders. You're diluting yourself. We're sick of fighting wars in the Middle East and having our boys and girls die over there. We're going to focus in our backyard. And I think we do need to focus because China has invested $500 billion in Latin America in the last 10 years. And they're building hospitals and ports.
It's called the Bridge and
Road
and Bridge campaign or something. They're doing it through Africa and South America, and
they're doing it all over the world. And that's why China controls all the minerals in the like most of the minerals in the world, because they're a communist country and they can say all the money's ours and we're going to go do it for the benefit of all of our population. Where in America,
they're loaning poor countries more money than the poor country will ever be able to pay back. So in lieu of paying them back, they have their natural resources and stuff like that. And back to the Monroe Doctrine, the Monroe Doctrine, like what we were taught in school, I'm not sure if they're taught it anymore, but when I was in school, they taught it was two-pronged, but the one that everyone knows is manifest destiny, coast to coast in America, which we succeeded in a way. I mean, there were some casualties along the way. But the other one was, yes, the Western Hemisphere. Primarily, it was really like North America and Latin America. We weren't really, expanded that far south yet. But that European monarchs and things like that and empires couldn't come into our sphere. And it was the greatest example of it was during the empire, second Mexican empire with Maximilian I, who was an Austrian backed by Napoleon III and the Belgians to create a monarchy in Mexico, pushing Juarez out. And the only way they did it is because we were in the middle of our civil war. And so we couldn't do it. We couldn't come in and help them. And Juarez waited out time and the civil war ended and the Texans and everyone brought the guns, the cannon, the horse, and the people. Primarily, there was the Irish Brigade from Texas, who went down and literally they arrested Maximilian, who was an Austrian and a Habsburg, the huge empire in Austria, and brought him out back and old yellowed him right there, killed him right there, and put wars back in place, solidifying modern day Mexico.
We didn't want that, yeah.
But now, I mean, Trump is basically he's modernizing a bit, but it's really, really important. Like the Western Hemisphere not being infiltrated. Cuba is like that one standout. But the one thing that you're saying about the Chinese right now is, did you see what they're doing now? Is the Chinese are lawyering up? I think he said something like 50,000 lawyers or something, because they're saying they donate like $50 billion or something to Venezuela. Well, just because there's a new government in place, or this doesn't mean you're off the hook. Venezuela. So now they're saying they're going to start suing America and all these things, and so bring us to court over. Did you see that?
I don't know what's going to happen, but
if you told me this was going to happen, though, I
guessed.
honestly am floored. And the fact that, like, as soon as this happens, they're starting to talk about Greenland now.
Again,
immediately they're back to this. I really think it's scary. You see that thing that they put out from the EU put out with all the foreign leaders talking about, hey, you need to respect Greenland's sovereignty. And
what sovereignty?
We need to take that.
Does Greenland have sovereignty that I don't know about?
Well, they're part of
they're Denmark.
They're Danish. But what do the Danish do? Have they done anything to help their economy? Anything?
I think their economy is okay.
But it's not really. It's kind of just sitting there.
The bottom line is
Greenland.
Yeah, what's their economy? Fish.
It doesn't matter. Like,
no, it does matter because we're looking at what Trump, I think, is doing here is he's not playing the short game. He's playing the 50, 100-year game. In 50, 100 years, minerals and precious metals and these resources are going. They need to be in our control, in America's control, because right now they're not. Why? Because
why does Greenland's the shit in Greenland need to be under America's control? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, because our sphere of influence needs to be under
Trump
America.
Needs to hire this guy.
Because no, it has nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with America surviving in 50, 100 years when China and literally
America
China
needs to figure it out, not by going in and taking over other countries.
No, they're not going to take over Greenland, and they never talked about it. In fact, today, I think, or yesterday, someone made a joke to Marco Rubio about it. Like, are you going to be using military force? And he's like, military force, there's 30,000 people. Like, what do we, military force? No, we don't need to. They're going to vote for it because they would rather be it. And so we just need to sell it.
You think that Greenland is going to vote?
They don't want it. Yeah,
not right now.
They don't want it. And the bottom line is we're out of the time of conquering land and being an empire. We're done.
Says who? But everyone else is doing it.
But at the same time, we can't allow China because
that's what I mean. China's not taking over countries, but they are putting themselves in a position
like this. You can't
making countries beholden to them is what you're saying.
So what's the difference between that and being an imperialist nation? They are by far the largest imperial nation on Earth. By far.
Well, we can control all the minerals of the world, all of it, all the oil, all the gold, everything. We can control the whole world. And if our government isn't accountable to the people, which they have not been, and Trump hasn't done shit about cleaning up Washington and making America great again, no one has been arrested on the Epstein list. No one. And fraud is discovered and pushed all over the news with all the daycare centers
and Minnesota stuff
in Minnesota, and it's horrible. And they're just scratching the surface because that's the whole government. The whole government is like that.
You see the guy.
Why didn't Fort Knox get audited? Why did their DOD they keep failing every audit and no one ever goes in and is held accountable? How do you fail an audit?
It's very simple.
California is even worse, right? So don't sit here and tell me we're going to do all these great things in other countries and give a fuck about Venezuela right now until we clean up our fucking political system and hold our own leaders accountable. And if we don't do that, but it doesn't matter how much.
We'd like to go out and bust all the corruption somewhere else without.
We're going to
implode.
We're going to fucking right here. We're going to implode, and we're going to have a fucking civil war.
That's 100% apples and oranges.
It's 100% going to happen.
It's apples and oranges. You're talking about Epstein files and Fort Knox for some reason, but there is definitely a very, very, very important reason to have Venezuela back to where it was 25, 30 years ago on our side with our oil. We were getting the majority of our imported oil was coming from Venezuela. And Venezuela has heavy oil that other countries don't have. Russia is the only one that has basically that heavy oil. We only have the lightest oil in the world because we're only getting it from fracking. So even though Trump's like, oh, we've got more oil than everyone, more power. No, we're fracking that. We're basically sucking the well dry is what we're doing right now. There's not much. Canada has some good oil, but honestly, like America needs oil to run. We need it. And so like for us not to have that security of not having to deal with the Saudis and the Russians and all areas of the world that we're so sick of dealing with. You think that
the president is averse to dealing with the Saudis? He seems to be pretty chummy with the Saudis and the Russians.
I know, but we need to have the resources in our hemisphere. Yeah, are we doing deals with Taiwan? Well, is that America first? Yes, it is. Why? Because we want the chips made in America.
I don't know exactly when Venezuela was, you said per capita, one of the richest places. It never looked like that. At least I was there in 1998 when I was still in the Navy. I was on a counter drug operation ship, for any viewers out there who don't know that. So I was on the USS Way City from 1998 to 2000. And we went to Caracas, Venezuela in early 1999. And it did not look like a very wealthy place at the time. All I remember was there was lots of hookers and karaoke bars. That's about
Sounds good to me.
That's about
Sounds
it.
like Saigon. No,
It was a sailor's paradise, but it really didn't seem like a very rich place.
I mean, time will tell if it's a good decision, but I think overall his doctrine is good, but it should never involve the military going in and taking over countries. Now, this guy was a bad guy. He said, come get me. I don't know. Maybe we needed to do that to free the country, and now the people are going to live a much better life. America has never gone in and taken over a country and stole their resources. So all that shit you hear on TV, that's a fucking lie. We never have done that. Now, we'll bring in our companies, but the money goes to them. We take profit out, the companies take profit out, and we make sure that shit gets sold to us.
I think history
and
will
our
judge
allies.
by what gets done now.
Yeah.
Nobody is kind of debating the fact that it was a good thing that Maduro is no longer in power.
No,
well, there are people debating it. Look at the 200 white people in New York arguing about it.
Well, I mean, but for the most part, I think that most rational people are not debating that this is a good thing that a dictator was essentially removed. But what America does right now is important, and it means something. Whether we enrich ourselves or whether we really do what's best for the Venezuelan people and allow them to have a free and fair election and show them this is what American values looks like, and we hope that you think this is a better way.
100%.
And I hope we go into Mexico next.
No, it is true, but it's also I think
that lady.
I think Trump does
Jewish
do the
Mexican lady.
Yeah, the Jewish Mexican lady.
I think Trump does do kind of the ripple effect thing often. He did it in Iran with that attack. He's just basically saying, like, to the rest of the people who may have a hint or a thought, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Well, he's like, look, no, you're not. Same with Venezuela. And that's the best thing I think about capitalism and democracy is there are countries that were maybe democratic at one point, and they try socialism and they try coming, and they tend to kind of come back to democracy eventually, because it'll pretty much fail. Is what I've kind of noticed. But yeah, I think taking out Venezuela, probably the Cubans and the Colombians are like we'll talk a little bit now, but. Oh man, I think he's serious. I think he might come after us.
The operation was pretty good. I mean, they
that operation was
got his
insane.
ass before he went into his panic room.
Yeah,
like that's they like boosh.
And the Cuban apparently they had the
PJs.
Apparently they had the Cuban Special Forces, which is an oxymoron. They're like in 57 Bel Airs. No, but they were there protecting the palace. Every single one of them was killed. Every one of them was killed, and not one of our guys was killed. Not one.
40,
no, but that
40 people. 40 people died.
Yeah,
to
but
get this one guy.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy. Those numbers.
Yeah.
But this is good. I mentioned this a few shows ago. Instead of countries going to war, that fucking leader and his leadership should be taken out. Whoever's the aggressor. And that should be the new policy of the United States and countries that really believe in freedom and all that. If you got a crazy country and they're like trying to go to war, don't kill all the people.
Do you remember after 9/11?
Go take them out.
Do you remember after 9/11 when there was the shock and awe raid on?
That's horrible.
Baghdad.
Horrible.
On Saddam Hussein's.
Oh yeah, all his infrastructure and stuff.
And I remember watching that on CNN when it happened, and I thought, if he dies in this, like it was such a targeted thing. There'll be much less wars in the future, because the leaders of countries will realize they know exactly where I'm at, and they can go in and just destroy us that quickly, and that pinpointed that it would really set a precedent for the future. But unfortunately, he escaped.
And don't get me wrong when I'm not glorifying everything here. I think what happens next is crucial, and this does smell a lot like what's happened every single time we go in there and rebuild a nation.
Do you know how heavily invested he is in oil stocks?
Zero.
Just kidding.
None. But no, like what we do next, I think it's gonna quagmire. It could really
The market loved it. I mean, we'll probably hit 50,000 tomorrow or
highest ever.
Yeah.
He said quagmire.
This is the first.
I said quagmire.
The first close over 49,000 was today of the Dow.
Really?
And it'll probably hit 50 by the end of the week.
Our economy grew, what, 4% or something crazy?
Yeah.
And like, it's insane.
Well, the stock market's not real,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I mean, it's about time. I mean,
down.
at
It's
what
like a
point
balloon.
is the income tax is going to be abolished? If he gets rid of the income tax seriously, because he talked about jokingly, if like the terrorist stuff, and I know I don't really believe it, but if he did, think about that for a second. Like, they can't bring it back. You can't be a politician who comes into office and brings it back.
I'm gonna run on that.
No, honestly,
I'm bringing back income tax.
I'm bringing back the income tax. You know what I mean?
And he
Like if he
wants-
just goes, "Fuck this, I'm getting rid of this."
No, but he's really hamstrung the IRS to the point where I think if you're somebody who does your own taxes, cheat away, man. Because
Right?
He's firing everybody.
He's firing everybody.
There's like 4 people at the IRS right now. Holy shit! What are we gonna do?
He kept the fattest, stupidest ones, and they're just
Yeah.
like they can't really move,
It's like
and they don't know how to
Monsters,
turn on the
They
computer.
did an opposite PT test at the IRS. You know the standards
Yeah.
that Hank sets for the
It's the
for
Monsters, Inc.
military.
lady, the one
Whoever
of the-
scores the worst keeps their job.
He's pumping
She's got the stamp.
microparticle aluminum in the HVAC, and then they're just all fucking getting more retarded every day. We may have to cut the retarded part.
That's
Why?
funny.
Retard is socially acceptable again.
It is?
Yep.
All right, leave it in.
So is faggot. Just kidding. It's not. That's not. I am one. I could say it.
You're a faggot.
But no, you can't say the hard T, man.
What do you say?
I was trying
The
to use the.
hard
You can't
T.
use the hard R.
Anyway,
you know.
but I'm hard on Trump.
Sorry.
I'm
But you
hard-
are?
I'm a little hard on Trump.
giggity.
But I'd rather have Trump in office for the next 100 years than another fucking Biden or Kamala or anybody in the fucking left.
Can anyone-
So I'm hard on him because my expectations are really high.
Way
and he is
high.
doing some things that are good, but like, man, he's fucking crazy. So we'll
Yeah, but
see.
you know
this
who's
might have
also
been a
crazy?
great. This might have been a great
What I
move.
kind of love is
Who?
Rubio. That guy's a badass, dude. And did you see they resurfaced a clip from the
Baby Marco?
2016?
Baby Marco.
Yeah, Baby Marco. But the 2016 debates when Marco totally owned Trump on stage. Did you see that?
I
You have
refuse
to go
to
back
watch
and
it.
look at it again. He absolutely destroyed for like 10 minutes straight. Just keeps, and every time Trump says something, he just bashes him. It was amazing. But anyway, he's a badass.
Well, let's move on.
Let's move on.
The guy's in jail now.
Who is? Marco?
Oh, Maduro.
Oh, whatever.
I love the pictures of him in like the friggin' like face mask or whatever.
Did you see he had like
Dude,
six,
show the one with
wait,
him and P. Diddy.
Wait, no, did you see like he has like 6 dress changes? He goes from that outfit to another one when he comes out of the helicopter, to another one when he's going into the prison, to another, like, they keep,
Oh, I want to mention our sponsor, Origin Geese. This is American made. Great story. Go online. He was actually wearing an Origin sweatshirt.
it was Nike, wasn't it?
Nope, Origin.
Origin.
Check
Origin.
it out. Check it out. They're in Pennsylvania. Great company.
Wow.
Is that really a sponsor?
It's a sponsor.
Cool.
Come on, man. I don't have any
You
sponsors.
don't have any sponsors. If
Send
you
me
want
a
to,
gig.
you want to
No
sponsor
one's going to
this,
sponsor us yet. This is sponsored by Michael Meade and his family. I
I
got
need
some.
a drug company. I'll wear a drug shirt or something like that. Some kind of pharmaceutical.
oh, pharmaceutical company. 'Cause
You're
they're
gonna
definitely in
wear
favor right
Jenny's
now.
Rose and be our number one salesperson.
All right,
It's a
that sounds
pharmaceutical
good.
thing that we're building right now. I got some fun facts.
Thank God.
You guys
'cause
ready?
That was miserable.
That's horrible. Anthony's just fucking nuts.
Mike is crazy.
More people die a year from gender reveal parties than from sharks.
No way.
That's a good one, man.
That's a good one. Where'd you
Dude, the
find
last
that one?
2 years, they estimate 6 people has been killed in the United States from gender reveal
Like
parties.
pyrotechnics and shit.
This includes incidents involving construction of devices and celebratory fireworks, as well as wildfires sparked by reveals that result in the death of a firefighter.
Jeez.
In the same time period, there are only 2 reported
Genders.
shark deaths.
I've
Two
seen a
reported
video.
shark deaths?
I've seen a
Deaths,
video
shark
of one of them where
Wait,
they
on
had
Earth?
like
Oh, in America.
one of those tiny like biplanes come and like seed the air with pink or blue, and you see the plane go down
Oh,
and then
yeah.
immediately
Yeah,
go
yeah.
over and just and everybody's like, oh yay, there's a baby boy, and then
They get like a fireball.
shit.
Yeah.
But
I saw
imagine that the poor fireman dies because of a fucking gender reveal
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
This poor guy.
And who are we to decide the gender of a baby?
I know,
Let's
right?
talk about it.
It's up to the baby.
The baby comes out. The baby comes out. It's got blue hair. It's like, let me talk to your manager. Anyway,
I got another one.
You guys are terrible.
you're like, can we just cut me out of this entire?
Wait, I mean, I was looking into just government-funded projects that were fucking retarded. This is a program I found So, in the 60s, in the early 60s.
What? Wait, what?
Shh,
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
NASA funded a project to get
What?
You guys, I miss the edibles. That's what happens when you show up late.
This is like we're kids in church again. It starts
NASA
laughing.
funded a project in the early 60s to get dolphins to speak English. It was a real
Oh
program.
my god!
Oh, God.
So how did they measure
But
that?
how'd
Like,
it
how do
go?
they measure the success of
Wait,
whether
let me
the
tell you
whether or
about
not
how
it talks.
we want to hear it. Yeah.
It's all
right.
right.
Estimates are $30 to $50 million the project
In the 60s.
in the 60s.
So that's like $1 billion.
It spanned over several years.
Oh, God. Put that on your resume.
Oh God. So
That's
in
awesome.
the early 1960s, a researcher named John C. Lilly, a neuroscientist and physician, led a series of experiments aimed at the interspecies communication, specifically between humans and dolphins. The project ended due to lack of measurable success. They couldn't measure any success. Can he talk? No, there's nothing.
Wait, did he speak to
Ethical
them in
concerns,
dolphin?
ethical concerns, shift in scientific priorities, and growing criticism that John Lilly's methods, including his later advocacy of psychedelics.
Oh my
So
god.
this guy was fucking
He was
fine. He's like,
fried.
"Dog, the fucking dolphin's talking to me. The dolphin's talking. Give me money."
Ethical concerns. What are they doing? Fucking it?
Oh, my
Do you like
God.
that? Do you like
Yeah,
that?
You like that little dolphin?
Hey Flipper, do you like that? No, I don't. Tell me through your blowhole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our government. They're
Wow.
just fucking blowing cash.
Well,
in the
as
60s.
long as we know it's not new, this isn't a new phenomenon.
And then I was looking
That's
into
great.
another alleged project that the United States government funded, and this one's a little bit scarier.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Scarier than the dolphins.
Hold me.
It was called the Montauk Project in Montauk, New
Okay.
York, and it was at Camp Hero. It was a former U.S. Military base. It's still there and still all closed down. They allegedly did secret experiments, which a lot of insiders and whistleblowers came out on. And
kind of
they
secrets?
did. They worked with children who showed psychic ability, and they put them through different tests and whatnot, and stressed them out, and did all this stuff to these
Sounds like
kids.
Stranger Things.
I'm getting there.
I was going to say Professor X, but
They attempted time travel and dimension exploration. This was the basis of Stranger Things.
No shit.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
This
I
was it.
did know this. I was holding back, but
they were going to name the show Montauk and film it
came
there.
up. There was a thing that some girl, like, she filmed herself like touring all the facilities, and no joke, all the facilities they look like the places in Stranger Things.
Yeah, so it's a real military installation, and
Okay.
neighbors in the area, they said they would hear weird sounds and see lots of weird lights, and the
Those are just
power would always
dolphins.
go on and off. It might have been dolphins talking to them.
The dolphins were running the place.
That's my
And
dolphin
it
noise.
feels very plausible because, it's a real military installation. There was a real historical secrecy during the Cold War. The government's proven themselves to do unethical experiments elsewhere, like MK Ultra. And we have complete distrust in our government overreach. So it seems completely plausible. Have you guys watched the show?
I did.
Stranger Things? Yeah, I'm on.
but-
Don't ruin it because
I'm not going to ruin
haven't
it, but
seen the last
you know what?
part
It's
of it.
kind of a mind fuck though, because I'm looking at these kids and they're like, they'll show flashbacks. Am I this old? Like, how did 10 years go by that fast?
Yeah.
Like the kids were like little kids, and now they're like gay. One came out as gay.
Dude, what?
For no reason.
First of all, I've been watching the show since
For
the
no
beginning.
reason.
And
He
I
was
lo-
gay
I-
for a while.
We all knew. Look at the haircut, but
But I loved the show, and I watched it with my daughter Madison since that's the first episode, and I loved it because of the nostalgia with the 80s.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
there's
awesome.
shit that I see. I'm like, oh my god, I had those bed sheets, or like my friend had that wallpaper. It's
and they
like
do a lot of great Easter eggs of other shows from
Yeah.
the 80s. Like
They
there's
did-
even lines they use.
Yeah.
They did a really, really
They did a
good
great
job.
job.
And I thought it was really great writing the first couple, and then it just got really woke. and like it's just completely woke. Everyone's gay in the show.
There's two gay people in the show.
Everybody's gay. They're making out.
But it was just, I mean, I don't mind. Obviously, I don't mind the gay people, you know. But it's just like it's the episode before the last one. You're going to spend 6 minutes coming out. It's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Is this the most important thing right now? Anyway.
Well, the one thing that I noticed.
We all knew.
Well, if you were a closeted kid at the end of the world, I guess you'd want to tell somebody.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do you know what I really noticed though in the show? And I mentioned this. My daughter was actually the one that mentioned it to me. It's just she seemed very odd. These kids were literally fighting demons, other dimensions, straight evil. Kids were getting kidnapped. Kids were getting killed. Parents were getting killed.
It's Epstein Island.
And never once in the 5 seasons did I see anyone sitting there praying to God for help. Not once.
Well, you don't know what they do in their private time, Mike.
No, on the show. So if you're sitting there, like literally, like any of us, if we're sitting and our fucking demon came through the wall, all of us would fall to our knees and say, God, fuck, help us. Holy shit. We wouldn't be like, let's create a bomb. And like, it's just that Hollywood liberal push on society. And that's why everyone's sick of the woke shit. Everyone's sick of it. With the interracial thing, and like it's fine every once in a while, it's fine. But when they push it at that degree, remove God from everything, and put evil messaging in here, where it's like it's pretty evil and it's pretty bad. And if you really believe in manifestation and you want evil to come and all, like put shows like that on, and it's like it's just not.
Well, it's
there's a whole nother undertone to it. It was entertaining, but just to remove God from a whole series when you're dealing with demons and everything. I think they showed one scene in like the school when one of the kids got killed in like episode 4 where the schools they had someone say a little prayer. But other than that, these kids were not depending on God for anything. There was no prayers. There was no God, can you find my brother? God, can you save me from this demon that came from another dimension?
Don't make me gay. Oh wait, that was just what I would say in high school. No, but don't you think? Well, first, I think it would have gone really cheesy if they started like sitting down praying all the time. I don't think people do that. I mean, they may say God. I probably heard them say Jesus a few times when they were running away.
You're very obvious. You don't like God, and you love oil revenue.
God. I love God. I have a St. Mary ring I just bought, by the way.
You love oil revenue.
But I love oil revenue. It's a 50-year plan.
You're next, Greenland.
No, you're next, Greenland.
No, but they got the two teenage girls making out in front of my daughter, and she's a teenager. And
she's a teenager, and I think you're scared of the fact that she might experiment in her teenage years, and that's kind of normal because that's what kids do. That's kind of normal.
They were not experimenting. They were dating.
So what? If one of your kids started dating someone of the same sex, I guarantee you, because you're both great parents, you would love them unconditionally.
Oh, for sure.
You wouldn't attack them, and you wouldn't send them to camps. So chill. But either way, but back to the Stranger Things. I mean, whether or not they're praying or not, there were children who were fighting demons, right? And they won. Sorry to ruin the ending. Don't you think God had a play in that?
I wouldn't know.
How else would they?
Element of it.
I think in mainstream Hollywood, whether it be a series on Netflix or in theaters, we have to understand that there is a religious component to our country that would embrace something that had a little bit of religious undertones to it.
It didn't need a lot. Just a little.
If you had a little bit, if you had one character in there who always went to God,
that would have been cool.
It probably would have been.
If there would have been one of those,
would have been embraced. They probably would have got a larger audience. Look how well David did. David is the surprise hit of this season.
But that kid, though, the fat kid in the last season. Suck my fat one is by far the best character.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, delightful Derek.
Derek and
a lot of swearing
what's her name?
too. I like the swearing.
What's the little girl's name? The black girl, the sassy one.
I can't remember.
Oh man, I like her too.
Those two, you should cross them into the dairy where it is from, and just have them go after the clown.
You know what?
I think that would be hilarious.
You know what's really horrible is that kids were
dipshit Derek.
No, but they changed his name to Delightful
Derek.
But the kids were decent, like child actors in the first few seasons.
Okay.
And now, like, they're horrible.
11 was a little like,
they're horrible.
11, like, gives everyone a look. Like,
she married Bobby Bon Jovi's kid, so now she's,
she's good.
She's also British.
There's 2 or 3 that are decent actors, and the rest are just horrendous. The poor one girl that has the eating disorder.
What?
What's her name? The one that was dating the hair, and then she
with the curly hair,
and then she dated
she got like the curly
ugly
bob
kid
hair
that with his little brother was gay. I'm bad with names.
Yeah, I'm bad with names
But
too.
that poor girl, I mean, she's just, she looks like she aged a lot because she's got a eating disorder. So I feel
Is that
bad
it?
for her. Yeah.
Well, also that one kid looks, and someone keeps saying, I get it, they aged in 10 years, but why does one of them look like a middle-aged Japanese businessman? And it's that one guy,
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
with the hair,
With
yeah.
the hair. But, and do you know, what's his name? Mike, the hair, whatever his name is? The kind of older kid.
Oh, yeah.
The one that
He's,
died in
he's
that,
actually a good actor. I
No,
like
he
him.
also has that song.
He has a band.
He has
was
a
at
band, and he's
Coachella.
like leaving Chicago, something like that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. I just can't. I refuse to believe it.
Well, that's Stranger Things. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, it was
Is
fun.
that it? We're done?
Yeah. So in a world filled with noise, prayer reminds us to pause. It centers the heart, quiets the mind, and reconnects us to something greater than ourselves, God. Whether whispered in hope or spoken in gratitude, prayer has the power to steady us, guide us, and remind us that we're never truly alone. Asking God for help and protection, and He shall deliver.